Hello there, it is Lorna, the occupational therapist with Love Learn Develop here, and thank you so much for joining me in this third part of our little video series all about baby development and play. So if you haven't watched video 1 or video 2 yet, you'll find the link below on our page here, and I would suggest that you go and watch video 1, watch video 2, and then come back to this one. But as a very quick recap, in video 1 we spoke about why it was important to play with our babies. We talked all about kind of 10 reasons why it was really good and why we should start really soon after they're born. So it's great for kind of interacting and for bonding and for kind of brain development and sensory development and so many positive kind of outcomes from playing with your baby. And in the second video, we showed you lots of kind of diagrams about senses and also about brain connections and brain development and things as well. So hopefully that all made sense. I'm more than happy to address any questions that you have and to kind of help you out with anything that I can. But today we're going to talk about how to put some of that knowledge into practice. So what the very first step is when you're coming to kind of planning play sessions with your little one. Now, I've got a principle that is available in our resource library called 5 Toys That I Love. And I'm going to kind of talk you through some of those just now. So I always start my play spaces with links. So when we're designing our play spaces for our babies, excuse me, I've got a little pile of toys here. I always start with links. Now these ones are by a company called Bright Starts. They are all different kind of textures. You can see I've got 2 different texture ones there. So one that's got bumps and one that's got little grooves on it. And the reason I love these so much is that the diameter is just perfect for a little hand. They're very easy to hold, so we can get a couple of fingers in there as well. They're great for hand-to-eye coordination. They're great for hand-to-mouth coordination. And they're a single color toy. So we know that when our babies are developing their vision, anything that's single color we can see at the same level of focus. So really good for kind of working those eye muscles as well. So with regards to those 8 senses that we were talking about, visually, they're getting quite a good workout. They're learning where their body is in space. That's proprioception. They're doing lots of motor skills, so hand to mouth, hand to eye coordination as well. They're having a little taste and a touch. So it's a multi-sensory toy. So it does fantastically. They're a couple of pounds. These ones are from Bright Starts. You can put 2 together, or 2 or 3 together, and you get a nice rattly toy as well. So that adds another kind of sensory dimension to it as well. So I just wanted you to show you compare why I talk about the Bright Starts ones quite a lot compared to some other companies' links. So these ones are chunkier, they're a bigger diameter, they're much thicker than the Bright Starts ones. They're lovely and textured, but they're quite hard for our little ones to hold. So just giving you kind of options with regards to that little grip, that reflex that our newborns are born with. They keep their hands closed. We can insert one of these, absolutely no problem. So they can play with these from a really young age. And this is a fab toy that goes with them as well, because you can do all sorts of things with them. There's a link to an article in our blog as well about kind of 10 reasons we like it and some activities you can do with one link and some activities that you can do with multi-links as well. So I'll post a link to that as well. We like adding texture to our play spaces. So I always start with links because they're kind of the solid one that we go to each time. But we can also add some texture. So we add chiffon scarves a lot to our play spaces. Beautiful texture, feels very different to play mats, and anything that they're lying on, carpets or blankets or whatever, feels very different. We're adding new texture. Great for visual development. So peekaboo games with chiffon scarves are awesome. When you're starting off with your little one, just cover your own eye line or cover your little one's eye line. Lots and lots of kind of eye contact with them. Pop the chiffon scarf down, use their name wherever you can, shout peekaboo at them, and then lift the scarf back up again. You can then take the scarf and then just place it over your little one so that you're looking at them through the scarf, and that's brilliant as well. And then when we're getting a little bit older and we have a little bit of hand-eye coordination, you can pop the scarf over them and they can take it off as well. And then as you continue with the game, because we know that repetition from video 2 is so super for brain development, so as you continue with that game and they're able to do that kind of hand-eye coordination part, the next part is that they're actually able to put the scarf on themselves. And then from there, they are instigating a game with you. And that's when they start to invite you to play, which is just an amazing stage as well, because they are then kind of welcoming you in and wanting you to interact with them as well. So a chiffon scarf, a muslin, a little scarf that you have at home. Obviously, whenever we're playing with our little ones, we're always keeping them in eyesight and arm's reach at all times. We're never leaving them alone with something that's a loose fabric. But so good for visual development, great texture toy, has a lovely kind of noise and a really soft sound to it. Yeah, brilliant for kind of coordinating those little muscles in their eyes as well. So add a little bit of texture. We can add a link to it. So therefore, pop it through a link. We've got a lovely 2-texture toy as well. So 2 kind of valuable ones for your toy box, and they were always the first 2 that I would pick out. I would then go for something that was quite small in nature, that involves us kind of concentrating, and we could put them in front of eyes. So today I've got my Humpty Dumpty finger puppet, and he is an awesome little thing from the Little Puppet Company. So we can do lots of things with our nice little puppets. This guy's still got his label on, but we can do lots of kind of nice tracking activities. So holding it over eye lines, aiming for noses rather than foreheads, so that we're tracking that backwards and forwards for your little ones. Just a really nice slow pattern. Holding it in the middle, letting your little ones have a really good look at it. Let them feel and touch it. This guy's got a nice felt hat compared to his nice cotton body, and he's kind of got a nice kind of smooth body as well. So he's got lots and lots of different textures. Feels very different from our links and from our chiffons as well. So we've added a multi-texture environment. So doing that tracking, we're working those muscles in the back of our eyes. So we're going backwards and forwards over noses really, really smoothly, really, really softly. We're holding it over to one side. See whether we can get our little one to turn their head in response to it. Our older ones, we're holding that in the middle over them. So I'm picturing them lying on their back at the moment. Hold that in the middle over them and watch those 2 little hands come together. So we're working both sides of the brain together. And then as a step up, you can let your little one kind of hold and touch and interact with it as well. The other thing I would dig out is something to do with contrast. So I like a black and white toy or a high contrast toy, because we know that when our babies are born, they see in light and shade. Their colour scheme takes about 3 months to start coming through, and it starts coming through with kind of oranges and yellows and reds. So those are kind of the three colours that we'll start to get through first, and then we'll start to get the whole spectrum of colours, and our baby's visual system is fully developed around the age of 2. So something that's high contrast is a really good idea as well. So to demonstrate this one, I've got my little zebra. So very, very popular toys with our sessions, and because babies can see them in focus. So how awesome must that be in a world that's quite blurry, that we can see something and we can see it in focus. So amazing little toy. You can either do those kind of nice zooms towards noses, lovely kind of zooms back and forwards, eye lines. We don't go for foreheads because we don't want those necks tilting backwards, but always look towards eyes. Let them hold and touch it. This guy feels really different from Humpty Dumpty. Got a pretty awesome little tail as well. But equally, dig out a black and white book, download the contrast cards off our website in our resource section, use some of the black and white contrast cards as well, and just give them something that is really contrasting that they can see in focus too. My other toy of choice is always a play mat. So to have somewhere that you can lie your baby, that they can do lying on their back, they can do some sideline, and they can do some tummy time as well. So if you were to ask me my 5 favorite toys, that would be it. To get yourself a play mat, to look at kind of something that we can concentrate on, do something visual with, to look at something that's black and white or high contrast, to get something like a chiffon scarf that is a very progressive toy that you can keep moving things up with them, and to do something that involves links, because they're just absolutely amazing. And even kind of keeping, they come in, I think, a set of 24, but even keeping a couple in your change bag. Do you know when you go to like one of those changing stations where you have the trays that open out, the one that absolutely terrify me, but you'd have these trays that open out and you have to put your bundle of joy on this little tray in the middle of the bathroom. You can give them something to hold and touch, so that it's a toy that they haven't seen for a little while. They will be fascinated, and you can be like a nappy ninja at the bottom to get them off the tray as quickly as possible. So having a couple in your change bag can really settle your little one as well. Becomes that kind of familiar toy, and again, lots of repetition. Brilliant for brain development. So when you are putting together your little places to play at home, think about your textures, think about adding some noise, think about something that's quite small that we can concentrate on that vision, and think about contrasty patterns as well, so that you're giving them kind of a full brain and a full body workout as well. The next part is to consider when it is a good time to play with your little one. Now, when we're hungry, that's not fantastic. When we're knackered, that's not great either. So our babies go through lots and lots of different patterns during the day. And if you're part of our village community, we have a whole training on there about baby states. So you can start to recognize how your baby is managing throughout a day. and then you can start to kind of pre-prompt when is a tired time, when we are alert and active, when we are alert but sleepy. Do you know what? So just different stages of how your baby is on the spectrum between I'm absolutely hysterical and I'm absolutely exhausted. And the ideal is to try and keep them in that middle where they're alert and they're active, or they're alert but quite kind of calm, and to keep them kind of in that stage so that we're not going to that extreme where we're becoming really distressed. So when our babies are alert and active is a really, really good time to play. And generally, in between sleep cycles, you might get that point in a very young baby for about 10 minutes. In our kind of towards 6 months-ish, we might get them in there for about 40 minutes. And towards a year, we might get them in that state for about an hour. So we need to kind of regulate the time that we play. So when your baby is fed, comfortable, is quite alert, but quite calm as well, and is actively looking for something, that is your time to play with your little one. That's your time to lie them down on their playmat, sort out your little space, select a few toys. Don't overwhelm them by giving them every toy that's in your toy basket. Select a few toys and really kind of think about how you're going to play with your little one and what positions you're going to put them in as well. You know, we're for our very young babies, we're looking at on their back or on their tummies. We're looking at side lying. When we progress a little bit, we are looking at doing things like sitting balance, and then eventually doing things in standing as well. Now, do think about the kind of kit that you use with your babies. Not everything in the whole baby design world is created equal. So there's some things that can actually do a lot of the kind of development work for your baby, or kind of compensate them in some way as well, which means that they kind of miss out on things. So we are very pro tummy time. It is a great way of kind of getting your baby to strengthen not just their heads, necks and backs, but pretty much all of their body, because they're giving themselves upper body strength. They are learning about their position in space. So finding a tummy time to play is brilliant. But have a wee think about kind of things that artificially get your babies to sit up. So your baby who doesn't yet have sitting balance, if you are using a piece of kit, for example, a Bumbo or a Snugsie, in order to get them to sit up, that is artificially sitting them up, and that's not helping their development. It's locking their hips in place. It's not giving them much information from proprioception about where their body is in space. And the manufacturers talk about how the babies can bring their hands to the midline when they're sitting, but your babies will be able to bring their hands to the midline when they're in tummy time and lying down as well. So have a wee think that we're using kind of equipment that is pro-development and is helping your baby work on particular skills. And avoid toys that do the work for your babies as well. So things like walkers, where you put your baby in a seat and get them to paddle backwards and forwards. They're not fab for development either. They're teaching our babies an on-toe walking pattern, which they'll never ever use in any other part of life. And there's lots of kind of studies being done that kind of consider walkers and visual development as well, because your little ones aren't able to see where they are in space. They're not getting that kind of full kind of walking experience. And then when they're coming out of it, they're needing to relearn because they're no longer using their tips, they're using their flats of their feet as well. So if you have any questions about kind of baby development equipment, do let me know. I'm more than happy to kind of have a chat. But just be cautious about what you use. Begin with a blanket. It is the best place for your baby to play. So lie down beside them and begin with kind of letting them kind of stretch out as well. So hopefully that has given you a starter for 10 for creating play spaces at home and creating opportunities that you can kind of play with your baby. Really kind of quite easy to do. So do dig out some of your toys. We have some kind of challenges and stuff going on this coming week. So on Monday, I am going to do my very, very first online development class. I've done them in person for years. I've seen hundreds and thousands of babies over that time. But I've never done one online. So we are going to go and try this on Monday morning. It will be about 9:30 on Monday morning. It will be in our Facebook community group. You are really welcome to come and join us if you fancy it. If you're on our mailing list, you will get your kit list. So you will need to have a couple of bits of kit ready. I will talk you through and provide you with a bit of an at-home class plan. And then it's up to you to take photos and show me how you're getting on and stuff. So our theme for Monday morning is shake, rattle and roll. So I want you to have a wee think about some toys that you could use. And as I say, I will send you a kit list so you have something to do. So I am wanting you to have something close by that you can shake. So it could be anything. It could be Anything that involves a little bit of gross motor skills, a little bit of movement, a little bit of kind of, I like the noise of these, they're quite softly kind of noise. So anything that involves kind of a bit of shaking. Second one was a rattle. So I've used a little maraca here to make a bit of a noise. So any kind of music toy, anything that we can make a bit of a rattle with, a couple of links linked together works perfect as well. It makes an awesome rattling noise. And we've got rolls. So I've got a nice sensory ball here. A little bit squishy so that we get a little bit of extra texture from it. We can open little hands up and let them feel around the corners. Equally, you could use any ball that you have at home. So think about balls from a ball pool, a little squishy ball, anything that you have at home. It doesn't need to be kind of the size of mine or the sensory balls, but anything that you have at home that kind of matches those kind of themes. So something to shake, something to rattle, and something to roll. And as I say, you will get a little kit list because we'll do a little bit of play all together. So we'll give you some ideas about how to do some one-on-one play. And then we're going to give them a little rest. And then we are going to do some kind of exploratory play. So I'll get you to set out a little play area for your babies in order to kind of help. And we'll talk through all those development things as we are going as well. Now, what I would just mention there about kind of play, rest and play is essential for your babies. So have a wee think when you're playing with your little one is to give them a rest during their play. So if we power on through, our babies become tired and quite cranky quite quickly. If we do a couple of activities with them and then give them a little break, so feed, change, comfort, cuddle, just let them kind of be for a little while, then they have time to kind of regulate what they've seen, process all that information, and they're ready to play again. So play, rest, and play is a really, really good strategy when it comes to kind of extending your baby's concentration as well. So Monday, we're doing our online class, shake, rattle, and roll, about 9:30 in the morning in our Facebook community group. And every day next week, so Monday to Friday next week, I'm going to be setting you a little play challenge. So I'd love to see some of your play spaces. So each day we'll have a different theme. You'll find out the theme on that morning, and you've kind of got during the day to kind of have a wee think about it and pop some photos in our Facebook community group. And there's some prizes. I'm going to dig through my toy box and send some prizes during the week. So if you would like to get some toys and some advice and to join in and to kind of build our little community here as well, you are really welcome to as well. So I hope that I have given you some inspiration this week about why it's important to play, what play does to your baby's brains and to their sensory systems, and to give you some ideas about toys and kind of patterns of behavior that you can kind of look out for, but also things that you can use as well. Now, I'd love to help. So if you have got any questions at all, I will be hanging about the Facebook community group. I will do a Facebook Live at some point over the coming days so that I can kind of give you any kind of answers to your questions and stuff you have as well. So on our page here, you will find a link to the downloads that I've mentioned, the contrast card one, 5 toys we love that have these ones as well. I'll put some product links down there as well. So if you're wanting to purchase some toys, there are some links and stuff to get you started. I'll just choose ones from Amazon, but do a bit of shopping around because there are some kind of bargains and stuff you can get them cheaper in some other retailers too. But I'll just kind of put some down to get you started. And then join me on Monday morning for our online class. And then every day next week for our little play challenges. They're just going to be kind of little subtle ideas, and you can interpret them how you like. But just to get you kind of started with regards to kind of planning little play spaces for your babies. So have a very amazing weekend. I hope that everybody is well, and I will catch up with you very soon. Take care. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.